hello, welcome. Can you please give us a small introduction to yourself and how you got into writing?
Right, so I'm Helen Christina Kelly, and I started writing about 3 years ago, I think. It's always something I wanted to do, but I didn't really think I could do it. I didn't think I had the ability to do it because I'm actually really dyslexic. So, but I just thought, it's now or never. I actually had 3 degrees, 3 postmaster degrees in history, and I thought if I can write a 15,000 word dissertation, I can write a book. So I did.
And here we are. So have you found there's been many difficulties with writing, with having your dyslexia, or what is the writing process for you like?
There's an awful lot of difficulties. Half of mine is finding people that I can trust that will edit the book for me, because obviously I paid people to edit my book, and especially in the early days, and so I've paid people to edit my book, and they've said, oh yeah, I've edited it, and I've got it back, and I've looked at what they've done, and I've thought, oh yeah, that's fine, and then someone else has looked at it and gone, well, they haven't edited it very well, and I've got really upset over it, because I've thought, well, haven't they? Have they? I don't know, because I can't tell. So in the early days, it was obviously, and even now it's still quite hard sometimes to trust yourself, and that's one of the hard things. And because of this dyslexia, I suffer from quite a lot of low self-esteem because of the fact that I don't think I'm good enough still. That's hard, but I go through moments of being proud of what I've done, and the moments of imposter syndrome and thinking, gosh, no. So you just get whatever you're given that day.
You're kind of doing really well because you've got your reader following, you're going to these signing events now, and that's just amazing. I mean, you've not let your dyslexia stop you from doing something you're really passionate about. You're still carrying on despite the big difficulties that there are. And I'm so glad you have editors that you can trust in this experience that makes it much harder for you to write and edit and publish. So yeah, that is amazing that you are carrying on and you're publishing your books.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's finding the people that you can trust, and it's the same with everything, isn't it? That's the thing. It's trying to find where you fit in and finding people you trust.
What's your publishing routine like? So you have your editors that help a lot with that, and then do you have alpha or beta readers or ARC readers that help you as well? How do you publish?
I don't at the moment, no. It's really hard. I tried at the last year, but what happened was I had about 10 of them, and ARC readers, and they were so sort of, some didn't even give me any feedback. They just wanted the free book. And then one woman wrote back and said, I don't think I'm your target audience. 5 of them didn't give me any feedback at all. And the rest just sort of didn't even read the book, and I just thought, why am I waiting to hear back from people if they're not going to get back to me?
That is awful and so discouraging. I think that's a massive problem with ARC readers. There's obviously a lot of people out there that are so passionate about the books and so happy to review these books and give feedback, but unfortunately there are also a lot of people that do just want a free book and do not take the time. When they sign up for it, they don't actually take the time to review the book, to give feedback that's necessary, and it's just, that is so disappointing, and I'm so sad that you went through that as well, because there are some lovely people out there. It's just a massive shame that you've come across.
I mean, the thing is, I would give away my books. I'm really bad. I would give away my books to everybody, because I'm excuse the dog, I'm quite proud of the fact that, well, when I'm having a good day, I'm quite proud of the fact that I've written a book, and I'm kind of like, I've written this, I'm writing these books because I'm saying I've done this, I've achieved this, I would like you just to enjoy it, kind of thing. And so for me to sit there and say, the amount of people my husband has to say to me, stop giving away your books, stop it. If people come to a book signing and he has to take the money now, because I'm more or less going to them, oh yeah, you want it signed, yeah, no problem, here you go, and then like giving the book away, and he's going, no, you have to charge them, just come to my table, you get a free book. So even when I try and give them away, people don't really want to read them. That's the thing. So it's kind of felt that for me to sort of like be even giving the books away, they weren't doing much for my self-esteem either.
And that is so sad that is the case, because it is something you should be so proud of. I mean, publishing book in on itself is amazing. I mean, it's a dream of mine. It's one thing I'm working towards, and I keep on thinking it's never going to happen. But the fact that you actually did it is just something to be incredibly proud of in on itself. And that is just something, an achievement for yourself. I mean, yes, obviously you want people to like the book. Obviously, that's the dream of any author. But first and foremost, it's a massive accomplishment, and that is just amazing. So I'm very sad that a lot of people aren't are taking advantage of that, of your kindness and wanting to give away, because that's not the reading community that I know. And it is just a massive shame that you've come across that side of things. But hopefully at this sign event we're going to go to, you'll see all the lovely readers that are so excited to meet you and sharing the joy of your books as well.
I love going to authors events and stuff like that. I love going to book signings, I tell you. It's one of the things I never ever thought I would. Last year when I went to the first Authors at the Armouries, I was so nervous, and because it was the first one I'd been to, and I was shaking like a leaf, and I've done a few more events since then. I love it. I love it so much. And I never ever thought that little old me would like it so much. I just want to do all of them. I just want to say, have my money, I'll do all of them. I don't care if I sell a book or not. I just want to be there.
Yeah.
Because it is so welcoming, and people are so nice, and it's completely different. It really is. But you couldn't explain how, and you wouldn't be able to bottle it. It's really, really different.
It's the biggest pick-me-up, and it's so nice being in a room of people that have your same vibe. Most of them are probably introverted. Most of them are probably nervous as well. So then coming up to the table, you share the energy, and honestly, you can't bottle up that feeling. It is such a lovely time. And being able to volunteer, it's my first time volunteering at an event, and being able to volunteer and share the hype for that is just so exciting. So grateful to be able to do that. So yeah, I can't wait to go in October. It's going to be my first Armouries. So yeah, that'll be really fun.
I mean, it is completely. I was blown away. I really was. Like I said, it was the first book signing I'd ever been to as an author. And I was just, there was me there with my little 3 books. My third book had just come out. It was actually out that day. And I was just like, I felt like a little tiny, like the first day at school kind of thing. And I felt like that. But I wasn't treated like that at all. It was just like, I kind of felt that I was home. And it was just like, wow, this is just amazing. Yeah. And I came away from there with renewed vigour and just like, wow, words just go. But it wasn't just as a writer, as a reader as well. Yeah. The whole ambience and the whole camaraderie and everything was just there.
Honestly, it's such a great event. Do you hold the Armouries in a special place in your heart, being the first signing event you went to, your first time experiencing that?
I mean, I do anyway, because it's so close to home, because we only live in Selby, so I do anyway, but also because of the fact that it was the first one, and that was it. It was so funny because we were like, I think the second or third away from the door, so we saw the doors open and then people come in, and it was kind of like the Harrods sale.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there and it was like, hello, what's happening?
It's a lot to take in. I just remember my first signing event was Rare in London, and that was massive, and oh my goodness, it's just from a reader's perspective, it's so overwhelming. You're trying to get all your books signed, and then there's all these people, and then it's so exciting. You want to meet everyone, and it's like, it is just like a Harrods sale, like a Paradise sale or something. But it is just amazing, honestly. It's such a great experience. I recommend to everyone.
It was lovely, and I would, I'm just over the moon to be going again. I really am. I think if I hadn't got in this year, I would have been crying on the floor. I would have just been like, no!
But I'm so glad you're going, and I get to meet you then in person. Are you signing on, is it Friday and Saturday the days?
I'm doing Saturday.
Saturday, nice. Yeah, I look forward to meeting you in person. I'll be popping around, doing little interviews on the day, and trying to take in as much as possible. We'll see how it goes. I don't have much planned yet.
I know that's the thing, because it's so big and it's so wonderful. You just can't get it all in as well. You just can't. It's not that it's so busy, because although it's busy, it doesn't feel busy, but you just can't take it all in either.
No, you can't. I'm glad there's two other content creative volunteers that are going to be helping me out capture content, 'cause I could definitely not do it all on my own. It's such a vast event. And plus, you want to, obviously you're there to take interviews, but you also want to talk to the authors and look at their books whenever you can. So that'll be really nice. And I'm glad there's two of us there to help me out on the day. What drew you into your current genre or style?
So I've got two genres at the moment because under my real name, I write small village romances, which is what I originally started writing. And then after the Armouries, I took the plunge after speaking to the lovely Lisa M. Miller. And I took the plunge because I'd read her books, and I took the plunge to write erotica, but under a completely different name, because I said to my mum that because I've been reading erotica books, and I said to my mum that I wanted to write erotica books, and she said, don't you dare write it under your name. So I had to then think of a different name. So under Sophia Grange, which is my other name, I write erotica books. So that's why I now write them as well. So I alternate both books. So at the moment, I'm concentrating on trying to get Sophia Grange's books up to the same number of levels so that it sort of evens out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it's trying to get them up to the same number. So I think I'm on the book 3's being formatted now. So hopefully by the Armouries we'll have book 4 of that one. And then I'll be back to writing the Greengrove ones under my name. It's just, I don't know where I am.
Do you find it quite hard to jump in between the two? Obviously, you have different series. Is it different series that you have?
It's different series and actually different styles, because the Greengrove ones are written in the first person and the Sophia Grange ones are written in the third person. So
it's really jumping in between.
I don't do things easy. I really don't.
Do you find it quite hard to jump in between them then? Do you sometimes find yourself wanting to write in one style whilst you're trying to write the other authors?
I tend just to write one book. I can't pop. I mean, it's a little bit worrying because I do have like 6 other stories in my head at the same time, but I just can't. I can't let it go. I have to finish one book before I write the next book. So
I imagine a lot of authors are like that as well, yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise I mean, I personally, I would get so confused. I wouldn't know if I was coming or going. I mean, like most times out of 10, I'm going, whether or not I'm coming or not, I don't know. But so I just need to finish what I'm doing before I jump on to the next one. So
yeah. So obviously you write erotica, but are these small town romances, are they spicy? Are they more new adult or YA?
I'd sort of say they're cosy romancy. There's one sort of sex scene in each book, and that's it. Sort of like they're not behind closed doors. There is one sex scene, but it's not like rippy
Bam.
or anything. Yeah. There is sort of like they do this, they do that, they do this, they do that kind of things. You know, it's sort of Mills and Booney kind of thing. So things my mum reads them. My aunt reads them. My mum's not going to be
read Mills and Boon yet, but you say Mills and Booney. I'm a rep for them, so I've got 12 books, maybe 15 now of theirs that I need to read because my TBR is like terrible, and my grandma's been begging me to read them. So I was like, Mills and Boon, they're not too spicy, so I gave her 3 of them. It's kind of reassuring that you said it's not like bam, 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 scene after scene after scene, now that I've given those books to her.
Well, Mills and Boon have changed a lot over the years, but they never used to be spicy, but yeah, there's sort of kind of like I said, there's one sex scene and that's it.
Yeah.
Apart from...
up next on my TBR in between all the authors that I'm interviewing as well. It's like I can't juggle it all.
I mean, the benefit with what I used to find with Mills and Boon books, because I used to read them, was they were really good when you came out of hospital and you didn't need to concentrate because they're one-day reads, really.
They're shorter, aren't they? They have 2 stories in one book, should I say, and then shorter romances. So I imagine it's quite nice, easy reading.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Yeah, they're very good if you've got fibromyalgia because you don't need to concentrate on them. There you go.
A palate cleanser, shall we say?
Yes, indeed. As I call them, my books, my normal ones, I call them when I went to a book signing and I said, oh, these are romance books. And this woman went, romance books, like that. And in the end, I said to this other woman, I went, I think I'm just going to call them easy reads. I'm just going to say they're easy reads.
Oh, the person that said romance books, no thank you. No. So that I would say a la poubelle, get in the bin, because I am a firm lover of romance books and I think they're brilliant.
So do I. I mean, the thing is, where would you be without them?
Exactly. I don't know why so many people diss on them. Like as soon as you say, I will say to people, "Oh, I'm a book addict. I love reading. I once read 300 and something books in a year when it was lockdown." And they're like, "Oh, what do you read?" And I say romance. And they're like, so not really reading then. I'm like, "No, you're joking. Go away now. I'm not talking to you anymore." Can you please give
But
us?
if you think about it, like Agatha Christie's Poirot on the TV, did Hastings not keep falling in and out of love with people? You
There's
see?
love in most stories. In War,
Exactly.
there's love involved. There's always some element of love in every story.
Just because nobody wants to admit it.
Yeah. Love is so close to hate as well. So, can you please give us a brief overview of your books, but from both pen names if you wish. Whatever you
Right,
like.
so the Greengrove ones, written under my name. So we've got a small village romance books. Greengrove's a small little village and they're all written in the first person. So you've got his and her story and each book is a different couple. Special Place is James and Lacey's story. Lacey moved to the village when she was 8 years old, and as with small little villages, everybody's got their own little clique and their own little family, whereas she didn't have anybody, so she found it difficult to settle in. But she did have a knight in shining armour, and this knight in shining armour eventually becomes the love interest, James, and he helps her to realise that she's actually someone worth her weight in gold, really. And they overcome an awful lot of problems, including the bully of the village called Sarah, who...
How could I guess it was going to be a girl?
Yeah, I'm not very nice to women. And I am really, but in my books I seem to think that women are quite evil.
Well, they can be. They can be amazing, but there can be a lot of evil. And I think there's for bullies, it tends to be the women, doesn't it? Sadly.
Exactly. And then, so that's a Special Place. Then New Beginnings, Sarah pops up again. James's cousin Jane is engaged to Peter, but she walks in and finds Sarah in bed with Peter. And so she bang goes that engagement. But Jane then realizes that James's friend David, who has moved to the village and opened a fish restaurant, and her have the same sort of problems with their broken heart, because he found his wife was cheating on him with his best friend. So together they sort of mend their own little broken hearts. But Sarah's become a victim of a stalker, and they have to try and find out, not Sarah, Jane becomes a victim of a stalker and they have to try and find out who that is.
A bit of mystery thread in there as well.
Yeah, so that's that one. And then Hold Me is Dawn and Connor's story, and in it Dawn is diagnosed with fibromyalgia, which is a condition that I have. I wanted to write a book where a main character has fibromyalgia, and in it she thought that she'd left love a bit too late because she was diagnosed with this condition. She didn't think anybody would want to take her on, but Connor, who has grown up with his mum who had fibro, proves her wrong, and they grow up through going through the condition and stuff like that. So that is that.
Lovely.
Yeah,
And obviously
so that's
awful situation, but such a lovely romance. How you see him not abandon her and just stick with her through that. That's really nice to read.
yeah, and so that's those ones, and then you've got the Sophia Grange ones. The two that are out at the moment are Club S Books, which is a club in London, a BDSM club owned by 4 friends. You've got Master Alan, Master Craig, Master Paul and Mistress Angela. So the 2 books out at the moment are Master Alan and Master Paul. And then Eagle Security, which is owned by Master Paul, is the one that's being formatted now. And Master Alan has just found his new sub, but his ex-wife is being a bit naughty, but nobody knows why, until one of the other subs realizes that it's because she's got herself involved in a group from Glasgow who the details of all the members so that they can blackmail the members, and they sort of kind of solve that, but that puts this person who found out why in trouble, and Master Paul helps look after her, and then that girl becomes his partner, and Master Alan has his partner too. So that's those two.
Sound like really fun reads to get into the whole erotic genre. Makes it more interesting. So obviously it has a big plot element to that. Those books doesn't it? Like
But they can be read as standalones as well, because you kind of, although the plot does go through both stories, they do kind of get solved in each book.
But it's really nice that, I know erotica, a lot of people think there's not a lot of plot with erotica. It's just bam, 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 you get what I mean? But it's really lovely that you have the plot element of a group of people trying to blackmail a club, which I think that sounds really exciting and interesting.
Yeah, I like a bit of a plot. I'd rather have a plot than it's really funny. I always tell this story of because when everyone started reading 50 Shades of Grey and everybody was going on about how all the sex scenes and that lot, and I went, but I really like the plot, and everyone, what plot? And I went, well, the fact that he was adopted and all this lot. And I didn't get that.
That's what I keep on saying. When I read those romances, not read them, I haven't read them actually. When I've watched the films, I know it's not as good as the books, but I always say it's because I love the romance, the plot, the whole, he's a billionaire looking after her who's adopted. I love that. And people don't understand that. Like, but it's just sex scenes. I'm like, no, it's not. It's a great romance.
Yeah, but that was what happened. Was I wasn't disappointed when the film came out because I got the story, whereas they were expecting, because they're stupid, the film to be all sex scenes. Well, they weren't going to get that anyway, but they were getting more story that I understood. But they were like, well, where did this story come from? And I'm like, it was in the book. Read the book, you'll find the story. Instead of flicking to page 32 and going, oh yes, there we are.
A lot of people think when I say I read romance, so you just like smutty books. You just like, well, they say, what is it, book porn or something? I'm like, no, I like the plot. I like the romance. There's a lot more to it. I think the sex scene makes it a bit more interesting. I don't know. I quite like it as opposed to Closed Door. But I could happily read it without, because I just love the plot. It just makes it, I don't know, you want to escape to a world where romance is amazing and not just
there has been some
dating apps.
I've sat gone, oh God, here we go, they're in bed again, right, flick fast, I can't be bothered,
See, I like it when it includes sex scenes, but when it has too much, I get bored of them. I think I prefer the angst of it, the build-up, but sometimes I will flick through and I'm like, that was just not necessary. Or if they start a scene and kind of, it almost fades off. Not Closed Door, but not as detailed as some can be. I quite like that. So it's still kind of hinting at it, but not going off. Because I like the romance. I want to, I don't know, read someone, like 80% of the book, it all blows up. I like to read that as a constant. Yeah. I like to read the plot.
There was one book I was reading the other day, and I was making my husband laugh, and I went, oh God, they're being drugged again. How many times do these people have to be drugged?
It's not necessary. It's a great plot, but not overused.
He went, well, how many times have they been drugged so far? And I went, 5. They've been drugged 5 times. 5 people have been drugged so far. One woman has been drugged 3 times. I said, I'm kind of a little bit fed up with them being drugged now.
I think 2 at a push is enough. Maybe 3 if it, even then, per character, no. No. I think 2 is just enough. But 1 is plenty. And if someone heard us talk about this, being drugged once is plenty, they'd be thinking, what on earth? I'm like, it's fictional, okay? It's fictional.
I just know now that I'm not putting any drug in any of my books, because I just can't be doing.
Completely put off by it. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today. This has been absolutely amazing. Great get to know you before the event. I can't wait to meet you in person. It's going to be a fantastic time, I just know.
Yeah, it definitely will be. Thank you very much.